Hi, and welcome to Seasparkles Corner. Today, David's got something.
Today we're doing welcome to our special for our Five Science series, where I'm going to call this one "Too Dangerous to Test." This is stuff you see in a lot of action movies, even some comedies are guilty of this, that are just too dangerous to test. Under no certain terms are you to actually test anything that we will be discussing here in real life. Okay? I've got a background in martial arts. My mom has some experience in it as well. Plus, she's also a certified impressive degrees for medical as well. So our two backgrounds here will actually be coming into play here. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be calling off different things you see in different movies, and then we are going to discuss why you shouldn't do them in real life, and then I'm going to be explaining to you how they did the scene in the movie. So, to begin with, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the big impressive 101 series Terminator, took a guy and threw him through a glass plane window.
That was a good movie. We liked it. But in reality, if you throw a person at a window, and if it is single pane glass or double pane glass, I mean, the impact would have to be pretty hard. And the person would get the glass stuck in them. They would get cut up very badly. And if they hit the concrete, they could fracture their skull or bones.
Yeah.
And they would be severely injured if they wouldn't survive at all. On windows, we have single pane glass, double pane glass, and triple pane hurricane glass. Now the hurricane glass, if they hit the person on it, wouldn't even break anyway. So it just depends a lot on certain circumstances, but it's never ever recommended to do that to another human being. But that's an action movie, and in the movies they have what's called breakaway glass.
Sugar glass is what it is.
Where when they do it, the person actually, the glass shatters and they don't get injured. But that's staged.
It's engineered.
Don't do it in real life.
Sugar glass is engineered so when it breaks, it kind of like powders out, leaving no sharp shards, and nobody can actually get cut or injured. It affects glass for stunts, and the scene that I'm referring to in Terminator 2 has also been done in comedy movies where a person actually went through the window and down the side of a very tall building.
And they always have a big balloon bed look. They have safety equipment.
Yeah, they have lots of things going on, like air mattresses, or they just CGI the effect now. It's just, even back then, the Terminator 2, they even CGI big building falls as well. The
majority of it is CGI now.
Yeah. Okay, that's...
Human beings, they wouldn't risk their cast members.
Yeah, it's just all around, it's a bad idea to put anybody through glass or punch through glass. Which we'll get to that one in a bit. Continuing on the topic of glass, and basically all Terminator movies and a lot of action movies, your hero punches out the driver's side window, normally bare
That can't
fisted.
even, in reality, just punching the driver's side window wouldn't break the window of a car.
No.
The cars have safety glass on.
You'll break your hand before you break the window. Unless you're a bodybuilder and you actually build up the endurance in your fists, you cannot punch out car windows.
Our car has safety glass on it, so it couldn't be punched through anyway. But if you have one of those old cars that has cheap glass, before the auto manufacturers...
As glass ages, it gets brittle.
The car manufacturers, as time has gone by, has made the glass safer because of the people getting in accidents, and they're trying to protect the people. So now there's laws requiring that to have safety glass, so it couldn't be done. But if you have an older model car, an antique... It takes quite a bit to impact and break the glass on a car window.
It takes a special tool, actually.
And so,
which a lot of knives actually have it built in now.
It's never recommended to do that, because if you would do it, no matter how strong and tough you are, you would get pieces of shards of glass in your hands and would require stitches. You could bleed to death before you got to
Also,
a
when you
hospital.
punch out glass, when you hit
It's pain.
it, there is a chance that your arm might hinge down, and then a sharp glass might be punching up and go into your
Anyway,
wrist.
that's a bad idea to do it.
Yeah.
So
That's why I call this stuff you do not do in real life. That's too dangerous to test, and why they're too dangerous to test.
in reality, if you lock your keys in the car, don't do that to try to get the keys out. If you're even able to do it, you would hurt your hands and get shards of glass in your hands. You would have a mess to clean up in the car.
Blood's hard to get out of upholstery.
If you lock your keys
Just
in
saying.
your car and you get, when people get frustrated when they want to get their keys, get a locksmith to come and,
Pop a lock.
you know, and open it up. But if you get mad at a person and they're running into the car for safety, you're going to injure yourself, your hand, and cut yourself and all that. If it would even happen, just take a deep breath and calm yourself. But don't ever do that for fun. And plus, nowadays the safety glass on the windows is so hard. It's kind of hard to do it. And if you were doing it before, you would get hurt.
We have a
really
lot
bad.
to go. We have a lot to go through. Just trust me on this. Okay, next up is this one is ironically done in a lot of movies. I like to call this punching out a brick wall.
Can't be done.
Actually, that's not entirely true. There is actually certain walls that now bricks you might not know.
Breakaway.
Mortar, yes, they use breakaway walls. They basically
movies
build
use
them.
breakaway
They build them to be
walls.
prepared to be broken away, or
And
they use
it's not real
or
bricks.
they use foam. Normally it's foam blocks, but
It's all fake.
why you shouldn't try it is brick walls are hard and they have mortar in them, turning them into a solid surface. Also, there's a chance that the brick wall in question might be actually reinforced with steel support beams. But
Ours is in our house.
a more horrific scenario is if it is an older brick wall and the mortar is actually starting to crack from age. When you punch it, the wall actually might collapse down and land on your arm or onto you, severely injuring you. Don't do it. Don't ever try that. You can, however, build up your muscles and your endurance so that way you can actually punch out a brick wall, but you still end up hurting your hand. Hands are designed to be very delicate instruments for opening caps and handling tweezers. Okay?
If you don't use a brick wall as a punching bag
Don't.
to exercise on.
Don't.
Buy yourself a real punching bag. There's punching bags you can buy that filled with water or sand, and you can get them anywhere, and they can stand up in a room, or you can, hang them from a rafter if you have a room with reinforced rafters. But the best way, if you want to use something as a punching bag, buy a punching bag from Sports Authority or something like
you're
that.
kind of going off topic there.
But don't use, no, I'm not, I'm getting to the point. Don't use a brick wall as a form of exercise.
Plus bricks are basically sandpaper. Even if you don't end up breaking your bones or hurting the wall, you'll actually probably end up scraping your skin off your hand.
And the movies that do that, it's all fake.
Okay. Now then. Next up is kicking in doors
Oh, I've done that.
with your foot,
I've done that.
which a lot of police movies and action movies do it.
I've done it,
It is doable.
and I didn't get hurt.
However, there's something to take into account. Even if you do try, if the door's closed and it's actually
did it.
properly positioned, so the molding is actually bracing the door shut, the door will not break in. Now, if the door is cheaply nailed, it might actually break the molding in, but the hinges might actually shut if it's a outside, as in it swings to you door. But if it swings from you door, it's a lot easier to do it, and it's actually doable. So that's actually doable.
I've done it.
She's done it. I can do it.
I've done that.
You can do it.
Before he was born, I did
You
it.
just got to make sure that this is you. This is your door. It swings this way. That way it can actually be broken in. This swings this way. The hinges will actually reinforce the door, keeping it shut.
I did it in, it was many years. It was before he was born, and I did it for a good reason.
I've done it.
And I took my right foot and I did kick open the door and open it up, but I knew the door had gone inward, so when I opened it up, it was done and I did not get hurt.
However,
If you're gonna, however, do that, you take, if
go
you're
to
not-
your own property.
If you're not in good shape, you risk breaking your ankle. hurting
Yes.
your ankle. Medically speaking, you risk breaking your ankle. But if you want to, if something occurs and you have a need to do that, and
hollow doors.
make sure just make sure you're in pretty good shape. You risk breaking your ankle. We don't recommend it.
No, exactly.
But what they do in movies is doable. You can knock down any door with your foot.
This is a list of stuff we will not test ever on the show, and we don't recommend doing it. We don't recommend doing it because
we've got a lot of money invested in our doors.
We got a lot of money invested in our doors. Plus, I don't want to have to set up a door to actually break it.
Our doors are all, even our interior doors are all steel reinforced.
Doors are over $100 each.
So, I mean, our doors are multiple doors. You know, none of our doors are hollow doors. So, inside, outside, or out. So, we're not.
If you want to kick in a door bad enough, get a hollow door and use shallow screws. That way it's easier. Plus, that way you get the full effect. That way the door actually breaks, cracks, and falls down. But if you got longer screws in it, the door will, and you actually kick it and it's hollow, you'll put your foot through the door. If it's a solid door, just don't put the knob in. When you kick it, just swings.
Hypothetically, if you lock yourself out of a house, and you can't get in and you've locked yourself in the keys, use a battering ram. It's a lot better than risking your own injury. But
still,
that is doable. I have done it.
I don't recommend doing it. This is entirely everything I don't recommend doing for any reason. Unless you set up for it, for your own safety.
Right, I mean, David's father, our stupid husband, closed the door and locked it, and my purse was in there. We couldn't get in there, so I kicked down the door to get in there because I wasn't going to pay a locksmith to come out.
Okay.
So,
moving on. Let's move on.
But I always recommend use a battering ram. It's a lot less painful.
Okay, moving on to the next one is head impact knockout. That's where basically the hero basically hits the stuntman in the head. They get knocked out. They basically bash the person's head into something, knock them out. Basically, any head impact that knocks them out. It's basically stunts. But this is list is why you shouldn't do this stuff. So basically, now she's going to explain to you why. Don't do it. Don't even try it to anybody.
Head impact can fracture a skull. Can cause brain damage.
Will cause brain damage.
Knocking out a person can, if the person survives, can cause amnesia. Can cause a person, literally, you can kill a person. The human head is very fragile, but the people who are doing these stunt people, they're professionals. They know what they're doing. And a lot of it is done with what's called stop motion. They do a scene, they stop it, but in reality they don't actually TKO a person. But never do it.
Don't. If you hit
a person like that, you could be charged with manslaughter.
This is like a TV. You hit a TV hard enough for it to turn off, it stays off. Same thing applies to here. If you hit somebody here hard enough for them to basically be unconscious, the person will have a concussion or brain damage, loss of memory, or dead.
Yeah, and
that's why the reason I'm doing this list is on account primarily because a lot of Batman movies and a lot of video games, a lot of action movies does this, but basically like even a Terminator, Schwarzenegger got a person on the head and basically bam right outside the building and then they're unconscious.
You're upsetting me.
He's just doing stuff trying to be entertaining. Okay, so don't do it.
Anyway, the list of damage to the human is very bad, and realize doing that to another human being, you could be brought up on charges on it because it's illegal and life-threatening. And if the person survives, you still could be charged with attempted murder. So in a movie, they're we'll call stunt people. They use stop-motion techniques. No person's
staging primarily for
is endangered, and they use breakaway stuff and fake stuff and foam stuff and all this. The movie stuff is just movie. It's all none of it's true. It's all pretend, and that's that. So in real life, there's never a reason to injure another person like that.
The primary motivation for doing this list is on account that it's for the parents of kids who they take them out to see movies. That way they know. They can show this to their kids, that way they know not to do this stuff. This list of everything I don't want you trying, for any reason. Okay, next up is Next up is, I guess we call it firearm blowback. It's a joke. It's fiction. The laws of physics is quite clear on this. If a gun shoots hard enough for the person to be blown away, the gun itself would blow away. Okay? It's that simple.
It's called recoil.
It doesn't exist. If you watch the old westerns, the gunfighting in that, the person would get shot and just fall down dead. Okay, firearms are dangerous. They kill people. All right. This is about the blowback strictly, though. It's not real. It's fake. It's a joke.
No one should handle a gun unless they know what they're doing.
I've taken 2 courses on firearms. I don't know any myself, but I do understand them. Okay.
And I don't ever recommend it. They're not a toy.
They're not a toy. They're for self-defense.
And we do recommend, we're not against homeowners of guns. If you have a gun, by the law in the United States of America.
More power to you because you're protecting your family.
In the laws of the United States of America, before as I was trying to say before I was interrupted, you're supposed to have the gun in one cabinet and locked, and the bullets in a total another cabinet also and locked. And if
I do that on marathons, actually.
Especially when children are involved, because children don't understand. They see it on TV. I'm talking about young children, and they have a misunderstanding over it. But what I'm saying here is I'm not against gun homeowners. If you're trained, you know how to use it, and you follow the laws, and you get the proper permits. So I'm not against it 100%. If you enjoy using a gun, going out hunting to feed your family, and you have a hunting license, or if you go to a firing range, or if you just enjoy being in the company with other gun owners and clubs and stuff like that, I'm all for that. I'm not against it, but like anybody, I'm against the misuse of it.
Me too. You shoot somebody, they're dead. It's that simple.
That's right. So on the TV, when you see somebody get shot and they still going and all that's fake. All the fantasies is fake. And even in the movies, there's been tragedies of stunt people killed in that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though they're specially trained and things like that, tragedies still happen.
Yeah.
So never aim a gun at a person and never misuse a gun.
Actually, just aiming a loaded gun at a person is a crime.
And
that's no joke, by the way.
And be very careful, because we've heard on TV where children had toy guns, police have arrested them.
Actually, I've heard
But we're
worse.
not gonna
We're not going into that. We're not going into that because we're saying about this is
we're talking
that
about
we
the movies.
See in movies that don't apply to real life. Okay, you shoot somebody, they're dead. That's perfect examples of this is those old action movies where you see the person all shot up and cut up.
Those old westerns,
where,
and they keep on going.
where they're bleeding all over the place and they're crawling, still fighting or whatever.
That's not reality.
That is not the reality of this.
Anytime,
the reality of this, if you are bleeding out, you will die from blood loss.
Anytime a bullet
flat out.
And when I was in the military, we used to say, anytime a bullet invades a body, it's bad. And so in the medical field, that's the old saying, if a bullet invades a body, it's bad. In the movies, they're using what's called blanks, and it's all stunt and they're coordinated and things like that.
They use effect ammo,
even,
by the way.
I'm sad to say, even then, we've heard of tragedies where they were making a movie where stunt people perished and died from mistakes. So that's not a good thing. Don't ever aim a bullet or with a gun in it, or even a blank, even a BB gun at another person. Don't. Not a good thing.
Unless you're wearing, well, in case of pellet guns, unless you're wearing proper safety equipment.
And still don't aim at another person. Use a target. Unless you're going hunting, and then that's okay.
Yeah, I don't even aim my pellet guns at people.
Don't.
But yeah, actually these what's called effect ammo. That's where they get the big cloud from the gun muzzle. It's called effect ammo. In real truth, actual firearms don't make the big cloud of smoke anymore. It's smokeless ammo.
I'll tell you one thing.
Just so you know.
And I'll tell you another thing they don't show you in the movies. When you shoot off those big fancy guns, the person will get hearing damage after. Even if, let's say, they build headphones you can put over your ears. That blocks out noise. So Wear them.
High caliber firearms.
Even small ones can still make your ears ring.
High caliber firearms, when you're shooting them, it should be away from your body, like this, to minimize it. And you should wear hearing protection regardless, but indoors, it will echo and cause hearing loss. If you're shooting near your ears, it will cause hearing damage as well. So, in truth, all these movies I see them put out thousands of rounds of ammo.
Inside buildings?
Inside buildings,
with no effect to
outside,
them?
without
Wouldn't
hearing
happen.
protection, in truth, would cause hearing damage.
Massive damage to the hearing.
Yeah.
There would be death after.
Exactly. Marvel Comics Punisher, who shoots off crud loads of ammo, would actually be deaf.
Yeah.
That's the truth. I hate to say it.
But don't get him wrong. We love the Punisher. He's a great character. We enjoy it. He's cool. But we don't look. That's not reality. So
Yeah.
Movies are all fake. But if a character like a person like the Punisher did exist, he would be totally dead because of him sitting there with that two guns, saying round after round after round after round. Oh boy.
Okay.
It'd be awful.
We basically covered firearms. Next up is falling onto vehicle roofs, which we've seen in Transformers. We've seen in a lot of Van Damme movies. We've seen it happen in a lot of movies. Basically, falling from two or above or higher, even onto a car roof.
Well, you will probably wind up dead, but I'm going to tell you, if you're in a building and it's on fire, and you got a choice where you know you're going to burn to death, or you look down there and you got a shot at living, you can jump out the window, and hope for the best. It's a better shot jumping out the window. You might live for a couple of more minutes. You land on the roof. If it's a convertible, you might have, at least that's softer, you might have something to burst your impact. You might just have injuries for a while, but whatnot. But in reality, the higher you fall, you would probably be dead. But I take the shot.
As they say, it's not so much as the fall that kills you; it's the stopping.
It's the impact,
It's
yeah.
the stopping.
It's the impact, yeah. I would never recommend somebody jumping out of a 6-story window onto a car and thinks you're going to be okay. It's not going to happen. One thing, the person won't survive. And there's just no way. The human body is not designed to take such an impact. It's just not the thing. But that's just a movie. And science movies have taken it. You've seen superhero movies where they jumped out of a window and landed on it on their feet and just kept on running. That's fantasy. That's not reality. The human body isn't designed to take that abuse. So don't try it. So don't copy movies. They're just all fake. This is how it is. I mean, you can't expect to land from a fall and be unimpaired. It won't happen. That's just a movie.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, all right. So then, okay, we got next. All right. I think. Can you think of anything I forgot to hit? That's too dangerous to try in real life.
Yes. Movies where you see them jump off the tops of mountains into water where they don't know if there could be rocks underneath there.
That's right. A lot of movies has the hero jumping off of a bridge into water, or off the top of a mountain into water, swan diving into water. Yes.
That they don't know what's down there.
That's right. She's right. I did forget this one. Thank you for remembering that one. So, okay.
That's never recommended.
Not recommended, and here's why. When the Golden Gate Bridge was being built, okay, the construction workers had actually fallen off of it when it was first being
Fell
built.
to their death.
There's water below the Golden Gate Bridge. They died on impact.
When you jump off of a building or you jump into a river,
Water
the impact is very strong too. You don't know what's down there. Under the water, there could be huge sharp rocks under there and stuff like that. It's not ever recommended. You don't jump into a water where you don't know what's going in there. Sharks could be down there. Barracudas could be down there. We don't know.
This thing called terminal velocity.
the water down there and the impact is so great. A couple of years ago, where we're living, a truck person, they got a car accident, and the car and the person ran over into a bridge, and the bridge wasn't that high up. Nobody in the car survived. They impacted the water, and they went in the car, survived. They managed to get, you know, they just didn't, you know. It's just how it is. Human beings drown. The impact of the water can cause, if the water's really can cause instant shock. I mean, it's not a good thing. Don't ever jump into a body of water off of the higher you go, let's say from a mountain, the further you drop, the faster you're gonna fall.
Water has mass, by the way.
That's the law of gravity, and you don't know of anybody going. When you swim in a lake, you swim in the ocean and stuff like that, or you swim off a diving board into that, the people are trained, they know what they're doing, and they know there's something down there, and so you gradually learn to do better and better at it when you see these professional divers do it. But that's not very high. It's not, the shock isn't there. Also,
the higher you are, the faster you're falling, the harder the impact will be on the surface of the water. So when you fall and you hit that water, if you're high enough, it's basically like, it's like hitting dirt. You're just dead on impact, flat out. You're dead on impact.
The wind is knocked out and you drown.
Mythbusters tested this with Buster off Buster. When he hit the water, he was decimated. So flat out, the faster you fall, the harder you hit that water. High enough, you splat.
When you see that in movies, it's all fake.
Yeah.
It's all fake.
Yeah, I completely forgot about this one. They've even done this. They've even done this where they jumped out of a plane into the ocean. And
that's all fake. That's fake.
It's just it is a joke in itself.
Yeah, you know, that's just all fake, and so don't try it. Even for fun, don't try it. Use your sense when you go swim. You know, safety sense. Before you go into the water, know what's down there, for your own sake. I mean, we love to swim, we go in pools.
I do.
So, safety first, use common sense. We love you, and as always, the fun never ends in seasparkles Corner. Hugs and kisses from my family to yours. We appreciate all of our viewers and all of our subscribers. Feel free to share, feel free to subscribe.
This video was intended to be a public service of seasparkles Corner.
Public service announcement.
For any worried parents who thinks your children might be getting interested in action movies and guys are worried that their children might actually attempt these things. This is intended for their use. So basically, you have my permission and her permission to share this video and show it to anybody. And if you like, right here in the video, I'm stating you have my permission to upload it onto any websites, because I don't want people to think that these things they see in action movies that we just listed here is safe to do.
We know good parents, like he's my son, and I cautioned him about safety growing up. Can't think of everything. So maybe we thought of something that you didn't think of to cover. We know everybody tries to be the best parents possible and to keep their children safe. But you know, it's hard for human beings to think of everything.
If by chance,
so no offense to anybody.
So if by chance you think of anything that we didn't discuss or cover in this video, please let us know. Alright, this video is on seasparkles Corner's uploaded list. So just comment right below if we by chance forgot to cover it. Okay? And then
I'm sure there's plenty of things we forgot.
And then if we get enough, we'll do a part 2. Alright? So thank you for watching, and peace out.
We love you all. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.